Guten Morgen, good morning. Not artificial intelligence, I hope. I will be very quick because I think it's much more interesting if you listen from the practitioners on the topic. But before we go into the example of how medical tourism is developed here in the region, I just wanted to share with you some setting the scene on what we are talking about. Can I ask the presentation to be put on the screen? Yes, okay. So basically what I wanted to share with you are the outcomes of a report that the World Tourism Organization prepared together with the European Travel Commission on exploring health tourism. This was a process that took around 2 years because we wanted to go and define what we are talking about when we talk about health tourism. There's a lot of confusion because we talk about medical tourism, we talk about health tourism, we talk about wellness, and at the end, if we want to measure what we're talking about or if we want to understand and compare, we need to know exactly what is what. So the objective of the study was to define what are we talking about when we talk about health tourism. Obviously, if you're interested in developing a health tourism strategy, there are some key issues that have to be taken into consideration. They include, obviously, we heard yesterday about aging, how that affects working and leisure time. So if people work later and their retirement comes later, that means that their availability and work-leisure time will be less. Also, what are the incentives at government level for healthcare? If there are supported holidays, but very important as well, what are the cross-border patients' mobility and systems? So within the EU, for example, if you can get medical treatment from one country to another and get covered by your government. Another important issue for us is everything that is actually increasing the demand for health tourism. Not going to repeat what we heard yesterday on life expectancy and aging, but also importantly, there's a change in the lifestyle of people that make them look for a healthier lifestyle. So all that is increasing the demand for wellness and healthy options. But also, we heard yesterday, the fact that you have an aging population, there will be many more people living with chronic disease, which will also demand for health tourism providers. Then we came to the definition of what we consider health tourism, and I'm going to read it for you. It says, forms of tourism which have as a primary motivation to contribute to physical, mental, and spiritual health. So the three components are very important, through medical and wellness-based activities, which increase the capacity of individuals to satisfy their own needs and to function better in the environment and society. So health tourism would be the umbrella definition, and within that we would have medical tourism and wellness tourism. This is very important at the point of, first of all, developing your strategy, but also identifying which tourist segments within health tourism are you addressing. And we have identified 6 typologies of health tourists that go from a lower health motivation to a higher. And those can include, for example, sometimes we often think about that from a low point of view, for example, an international traveler, which is in a location and has to have the use of emergency facilities. If you ski, that's probably one of the highest probabilities that you have, the need to use medical facilities in a destination. The health motivation of that tourist is very low, but he will be using your infrastructure. Then we have health-aware travelers, for example, travelers who actually travel with another motivation, but they will use health facilities when they're using a gym in your hotel, a spa, for example, during a day, but their prime motivation is not that. And then finally, we get to the level of segmentation where we talk about what are the tourists that travel with a specific health desire. So, for example, medical tourists having an operation, which generally is very dependent on their home medical infrastructure, but also on the confidence they will have in the medical system in the destination. Also recreational leisure time consumers, people who just use a spa for fun, but not something that it's going over time. And then we have health-conscious consumers, people who look for healthy way of traveling, either in food or in the type of activities they do. So this is what the report identifies, and it's very important because each destination would probably not be fitting to all of these segments. I think in the case of mountain tourism, it's more and more going hand in hand with a healthy lifestyle, but also in terms of diversifying and fighting seasonality. This is one of the major opportunities, and I'm sure that when we hear the example that follows, we will know more about it. So thank you very much. I just wanted to share this, setting the scene with you before we dwell into actually what the example of medical tourism is. And the report is available on our website, and you're more than welcome to look through it. There's an executive summary, and also a toolkit for destinations who are interested in developing health tourism in their own destinations. Thank you very much.